Hey there, everybody. New studio, new intro. I'm just here to remind you guys before you listen to today's episode, make sure you follow the show and subscribe wherever you listen. If you watch the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, you comment, you like, and you share. Also, follow my social media, all of it, both Instagrams, my Twitter, follow it all. Your life is to be consumed by my life. Tell everybody that you know about me. Start conversations with the fact that the Smoking Simian is your favorite podcast. Bombard everyone that you know and love with the Smoking Simian. Send them links day in and day out of my show, of the episodes, of my posts. Get thrown out of your house because the only thing that you care about is the Smoking Simian. Do it. Enjoy today's episode. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and good morning. Thank you for showing up, showing out, turning us on yet again. The Smoking Simian is in full effect here on this Thursday morning, as it is every Thursday morning and Monday morning as well. I hope you guys are taking advantage of the tireless labor of love that I am pursuing here when it comes to increasing my levels of content. My YouTube game is getting stronger. Every week we are going to have, like I said, we've got a ton of stuff going up. This Saturday will be the first Saturday I start doing the comedy breakdown on YouTube, the YouTube short series, where I'll be doing the comedian breakdown every Saturday until I get fucking tired of it. Also, of course, every Wednesday we have our old Simian clips that I hope you guys are checking out. I think it's nice, a little nostalgic, little something for you to wet the palate, get you through the middle of the week. And then, of course, we have our two new clips, which come out on Tuesdays and Fridays, as well as the full show on Mondays and motherfucking Thursdays. We're kicking it into high gear here, folks. We are trying to get the word out that we have a phenomenal show here. We're at a pretty high episode, and I have little to none to show for it, which is fine. Again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's only been 2 years, but in actuality, progress is what we want to see, and there's been plenty of it. There's been plenty of it behind the scenes, in the front of the scenes, but hey, there's always room for more. That's the idea. That's the idea here. Now, a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you guys about today, and I promise it won't be all about the show. We will have a show for you, but another thing I wanted to mention is that I'm wrestling with the idea of doing this quarterly goal thing that I do on here, where I talk about my goals and, the list that I made or whatever. Because normally I would do it now, right? Now would be the time for me to do my recap of my goals. Now, this year, with all the changes that have happened, with all the adjustments I've made, that list is still somewhere in this room, right? It's not where I normally would put my list of goals. Normally, I'd have it hung up somewhere right in front of my face so I can see it every day and attack them. I am slowly starting to turn away from the goal model. Yes, this sounds crazy, right? This sounds absolutely bananas. Antonio, you've been beating us over the head for 2 years about goals, setting goals for your month, for your week, and most importantly, for your year. What the fuck are you going to do come New Year's? Well, listen, guys. I'm starting to realize goals are a nice benchmark. They're a nice idea, right? Goals are a cool idea, but what happens after time is, I think you find yourself trying to get these goals done just for the sake of getting them done. You don't know if they're going to help. You kind of made them and you had this idea that you could do it this way, and maybe we get rid of a goal. Maybe we, this and that. And don't get me wrong, I've been doing it for years. I don't know if I'll stop completely, but I listened to a podcast with Joe Rogan and Valentina Shevchenko, and she says she doesn't work on a goal. She's not like goal-oriented in that way. She kind of just trains, she works, she puts her energy into different things, more here, less there, whatever the case is, and something happens. And I'm finding that the more I hyperfixate on the idea of getting a goal done within a certain period of time, the more pressure you put on yourself. And we already put a ton of pressure on ourselves, especially me, someone who's trying to do something kind of out of the ordinary, out of the box, starting from ground zero. There's a lot to get done all the time already. So now you factor in the idea that, all right, I need to get to this level, and don't get me wrong. Again, I hate to digress, but there is something to giving yourself a ultimatum and getting to a certain level. But for that to be your main focus, I don't know that it's any better than doing the other process that I had just mentioned of just nose to the grindstone and keeping an idea of where you want to go in your mind, but not hyperfixating on it. And when I make a list and when I hang it up and I do that thing, I hyperfixate on it. And it's like if that day I didn't do what I set out to do, then if I'm not trying to attack all 8 goals or whatever I have on that piece of paper every day, all the time, which isn't realistic, by the way. No matter what the fuck people tell you, you should be every day grinding until you're nothing, until your knees are knocking, and just tirelessly effort. I get it. I get the idea, guys. But it's kind of like having that veil over your eyes for your entire life where you think all these big, strong motherfuckers aren't on steroids. Right? I remember being a kid and watching, first starting out at the gym and watching these big monsters just training hard and being huge and saying, man, you just got to get up, you got to work, you got to diet. There's no easy way around it. You got to, and they probably do all that too, but they got a lot of help with steroids and all these different things. So it's kind of like having the veil over your eyes to say that unless you're an incredibly special and driven person, and if you are, that's awesome. That's awesome. You have to be some level of driven, and you have to care about your craft to a certain extent to where you can get really good. And I agree that it does have to be your life. Comedy and this podcast are pretty much my life. I basically subsist just so I can do those two things. Pretty much my life. I try to get out to do comedy every night. I didn't get to do it tonight. I didn't get to do it at all this week. For you guys, Thursday, whatever, I'll probably be doing a spot, tonight. But as I'm sitting here recording, I missed my spot. Again, shit gets in the way. Shit gets in the way. You sleep like shit. Something happens and whatever. And again, excuses. Everybody's got a different level of drive in them. And I'd like to think that, whatever you pick, if you're doing it with your heart and soul, I don't know if you necessarily need these kinds of goals. And again, this is just sort of an experiment. We're 6 months into the year. I'd like to ride the rest of this year out, not worrying about goals. Just working in different directions, trying to get 1% better in those areas. That, I guess, is an overall goal, but nonetheless, that's why I'm not doing that shit this year. The rest of this year, you guys will not have to be bothered by my goal, fucking recap list and all this shit. You don't have to worry about it because I am not doing it. That's it, motherfuckers. No more. Now, with all that being said, this was, a week of, I guess, celebration. I don't know. It was my birthday on Sunday. I already spoke about it on Monday. And today's Wednesday as I sit here speaking to you guys. And on Tuesday, my brother and I were fortunate enough to go see an absolute legend of a performer. This guy's name is as big as fucking anybody. Paul McCartney. We got to watch Paul McCartney, that old fucking geezer, absolutely burn down Fenway Stadium. Burn it to the motherfucking ground in a good way. Absolutely level that stadium to a fucking parking lot. I mean, my God, what a show. The day was without controversy, right? The day was a shit show of a day. Starting off, me and my brother went to get their, I picked him out of school early. We got to Boston earlier in the day. And I had realized that I needed to go into, my email or whatever to accept the tickets, which I hadn't done yet. I figured it would just be an easy fucking process. Turns out it was this fucking long, extensive process that was dragged out throughout the entire goddamn day that had us worried that we weren't even going to get into the fucking show because we didn't have our fucking tickets. How crazy. We were going back and forth with the people. It was a stressful fucking day. When in my mind, all I wanted to do was get to Boston early, bar hop. Obviously the kid's, my brother's 17, so, he's not bar hopping. But he could come along, have a soda, whatever, eat, hang out the whole fucking day. But we did that, but we were stressed the whole time. Like, we weren't going to be able to see the show, and that would have sucked. Also, the idea, when we got to Boston, my idea was to go to a museum. And I read online incorrectly. I thought that they were going to be open on Tuesday, 10:30 or whatever, but I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. We pulled up, and I was I was so heated at that because I wanted to go in, I wanted to see, and I wanted to kill time. Jesus Christ, the show wasn't until 6:30. We got there at 11 in the afternoon. So I wanted to kill time. I didn't want to just eat off rip. Kill some time, eat, walk around, drink, whatever, and then we're back at the show. Shit didn't happen that way. So it was all made up for when we got to actually see the show because, my God, I want to start off by saying music is so much better, infinitely better than comedy. Infinitely better. I mean, they both have their good parts. They both have their bad parts. But, when it comes to stand-up comedy, the best way to watch it is in a small room, intimate. That's the best way, right? Arenas, cool, right? That's awesome for the comic. It's even awesome for the crowd because you're in a huge fucking venue together. You all get to laugh together, a bunch of strangers. It's the whole thing that comes with a comedy show. Whole bunch of strangers getting hang out and laugh with each other. Very cool. But the best way to watch a comedy show is in a small club, a small dark fucking room in a basement somewhere. Best way to watch comedy. Music, a top musician, you can watch him anywhere. But arguably, the bigger the crowd when it comes to music, the better. I think it's because everybody is connected on a different level, right? Whereas comedy, it evokes maybe not a singular emotion, but the main emotion is laugh. It's funny, right? Funny. And everyone shares that emotion together. But with music, it's something else, right? It's a plethora of emotions based on that song. Having a full stadium, Fenway Park was full, guys. Fenway Park was absolutely full, and having everybody stand up and sing the same song all together, you guys are connected on a different level. And having these big monstrous shows works so much better with music. Infinitely better with music. Infinitely. And then obviously you take a legend like Paul McCartney, one of the most accomplished fucking musicians that ever lived to walk the planet, like a legend's legend. He's your favorite musician's favorite musician. Put it that way. And he did, just rapid fire for 3 hours, guys. 3 hours of just 2-3 minute songs, bang, bang, the hits, the new stuff. He's switching instruments, right? He's a master of he's playing the bass, right? The famous Paul McCartney bass. I don't know what it's called, but he's playing that. Then he's switching to an acoustic guitar. He's switching to an electric guitar and shredding. He did a Jimi Hendrix tribute. He did Foxy Lady. Are you fucking kidding me? Then tells us a story. The crowd control. That crowd was fucking huge. And the crowd control that man had, it goes to show that consistency is absolutely the number one fucking thing that if you want to be good at anything, that's where it comes from. That man is 80 years old today, right? June 9th, right? What's today? Or June 7th, June 8th. June 8th, Paul McCartney is 80 years old, and that man is doing 3 hours on stage multiple times per week for monstrous fucking crowds. Killing it, too. Killing it. Dying. Fans that would fucking... fans that are absolute die-hard fans of his. People would jump in the fucking... in the front of a bus if it meant that they had half a chance to go to meet Paul McCartney, right? If you step in front of this bus going 70 miles an hour and you live, you get to meet Paul McCartney. He'll sign your vertebrae brace, and you guys can hang out and the whole deal. But consistency. I mean, that guy has been doing music since he was a child. A child. Imagine at that point. Imagine being at that point of your journey. Right? The beginning of something that you love, something you want to pursue. You want to be, for whatever reason, you're drawn to it. You want to just get really good at this, and you really enjoy it. You have some deep spiritual fucking connection to it. And for some people, it's music. For some people, it's comedy. For some people, it's writing. And for some people, it's killing people in a grocery store, right? Or in a public place. Right? It starts off when they're a kid and the world's in their eyes, but every once in a while they like to catch a squirrel and grab it by the tail and swing it around really, really fast till its eyeballs pop out of his head and then smash it against a fucking oak tree. Keep smashing it. Smash, smash, until its body is fucking, every bone in its body is broken, and then you throw it over the fence into the neighbor's pool and you do it again the next fucking day. That kid is just starting out in his dreams of becoming a mass murderer, right? There's an instance where a child has found something that they have gravitated toward. There's something deeper in their psyche to them. They just really enjoy the sound of that little animal just squealing for life, begging, hoping that this other animal that stands on 2 feet and is straight up and can grab things will please just stop, just hoping that this massive fucking 7-year-old is just will release it into the wild, will stop breaking its ribs and stomping its feet, stomping its legs into mush, and let it run free, let it go ahead and let the squirrel be. But no, this kid is he's got raw talent. The kid's got raw talent and he wants to pursue it, and imagine being at the very beginning of something, and then, 70 years later, or what would it be, 65 years later, if he started when he was 14, which supposedly he wrote his first song when he was 14. And, so 66 years later, and he's fucking the biggest, like that, and he can play any song. He remembers his whole set list, his whole 30-song set list. He's able to control the crowd in a way that's just masterful, and obviously has a phenomenal crew, people don't understand that it takes years and years and years of consistent dedication that doesn't exist without you having some desire to be better or a burning fucking passion and love for that craft. That shit doesn't happen, guys. And I mean, again, very few people get to the level of a Paul McCartney or a Billy Joel or Elton John, where there's decades of diehard fans that transcend time and whatever the fuck. That doesn't always happen, right? That's very rare. Very rare. So even as a killer, right? Even as a killer, it is tough to keep your name, because there's so many guys. There's so many. It is tough to keep your name in the mouths of the citizens, of the people. It is very tough. We still talk about Lee Harvey Oswald, and we don't know if he did it. Right? I just don't want to fuck it up. Lee Harvey Oswald. He's the one that was JFK, yeah? Don't let me fuck this up, guys. I'm going to sound like an idiot. Either way, yeah. Okay, so there's him, and then there's the one who attempted to kill Abe Lincoln, right? Who tried? I'm forgetting his name too. Or who? Sorry, guys, I don't mean the dead space. Who killed Abe Lincoln? John Wilkes Booth. I see. It was the three names. The three names. Both of those guys. I mean, they killed the top. They were at the tip top of their game, right? That's Paul McCartney of killing. That's Paul McCartney. And those guys have survived. Sirhan, another one. These guys have survived in infamy. O.J. Simpson, another one. Casey Anthony. These people reached the absolute top of their game. Absolute top of their game. And, you know, I mean, Paul McCartney has reached monumental levels of fame. Monumental levels of fame. I mean, the Beatles was his fucking first band. Are you kidding me? The biggest fucking band that was ever created. Paul McCartney was a part of them. And there was a moment in the show, all this other stuff aside, with me kidding and whatever else. I know it's tough for me to have a serious moment sometimes. But there was a moment in that show that was absolutely surreal. Absolutely surreal, guys. We got to see John Lennon live as well. We got to watch John Lennon sing. There was a moment where Paul McCartney said, "Hey, we're gonna do something special for you guys." We were able to isolate a video and audio of John Lennon singing, and we're gonna do that. And John sang the lead to "I Got a Feeling," everybody let their head down. Na, 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 na. I mean, my God, it was insane. You're watching him on the big screen, and his hair's blowing in the wind. He's singing. He's fucking alive, dude. It was a serious, surreal moment. It was crazy. Come to think of it, the guy that killed John Lennon, he's been, I don't know his name, but that's another guy who's, hey, just the mention of him. The guy that killed John Lennon. Right, he's another one who's up there and really got to the pinnacle of his game. But watching an experienced veteran, a veteran that is absolutely, unequivocally one of the biggest stars the world has ever fucking known, watching him go up there and work was, I mean, it was great. It was great, and that moment where we got to see John Lennon do his thing was, I mean, it was a genuine moment for me, guys. I know I don't have many of those, and I know I just negated all the nice things I said about bringing up the guy who killed him. But it was a phenomenal moment, and it reminded me of how great it is to pack a big venue out with a bunch of people with comorbidities, coughing and singing and screaming on each other and spilling their beers that, have their contaminants in them, getting them on you and the whole thing. It is a global health crisis is worth the feeling that a phenomenal concert brings. It really is, guys. I am here. I got COVID toward the end. It wasn't terrible. It put me out of commission for a couple days. Fucked with my sanity because I was stuck home and in this box more so than I wanted to be. You guys know that whole story. But I can honestly say that I wouldn't mind losing another 1 million Americans or however many we lost if that means we get to watch a crazy performance, a crazy musical performance in a big stadium with big artists. Nothing beats it, guys. I wouldn't mind if half of the Earth's population was taken out as long as the shows kept rolling. I don't care if the bubonic plague is back and on steroids. I want to see Mick Jagger shake his old bony ass. Sorry, guys, I'm coughing. His old bony ass next to Keith Richards' sunken in, drug, fucking riddled face. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. I would rather see that than be forced to be put in a situation where we can't. Just because people are getting sick, let the ones who aren't getting sick go out and have a good time. That's what I say. Next global pandemic, I am going to be petitioning for shows to keep going. Only big acts. Fuck everybody else. Fuck the local shows. Fuck your local comedians and fuck your local artists. No. We want big time shows. Big time. Jay-Z. The biggest fucking stadiums filled. People on the outside are dying. People on the inside will die soon. But listen, it is worth the event. The event is worth it. And I haven't been to a concert in a while. That was my first one in a while, and it sparked I want to go to more this year. I do. I like the festival format. The festival format is cool because you get to be on the ground. You get to be on the ground, and, you're not, like, in this weird kind of halfway thing. I know concerts are in stadiums all the time, but I've always liked being able to stand on the ground looking up at the stage rather than sitting in a seat, getting up for the good songs, dancing with everybody, and then sitting back down. If I want to sit down, I'll sit on the ground over on the side, and a bunch of us will sit in a circle and take acid and sing Kumbaya like you're supposed to fucking do at a music festival. But I would love to, I'd love to see at least one more concert before the year's out. Something somebody that I've really wanted to see or have a real, inkling. There were some people that had these crazy, everyone was wearing different types of memorabilia. Some people were wearing shirts with Paul McCartney's name on them from other events. And there was this one guy that sat in front of me who was at a show with the Rolling Stones, The Who, Roger Waters, Neil Young, Paul McCartney, and there was one more band on there who I'm forgetting. Probably doesn't even matter. Some other monstrous. They probably had Led Zeppelin, John Bonham back from the fucking dead. It looked like an absolute crazy lineup. I had to look up the show just to see, like, what the fuck? What is this? And if that happens again, I don't know how far out west it is. I think it said, somewhere in Vegas. It was like a desert-themed show. And if that shit, I will take out a fucking loan. I'll bury myself and I'll go to debtor's prison to go to an event like that. That show definitely re-sparked my interest to go out to concerts and to really see these guys before they pack it in, right? Because that generation is that generation of artists that came out in the 60s. They are ancient. They are in their 80s, guys. And we are fortunate that they love money as much as they do and love performing and love getting out there because we can still see them now while they're alive, right? I mean, Charlie Watts just died. He was the oldest member in the Stones, the drummer. That motherfucker was like 86 playing the drums all night, I mean, all those guys are ancient, and we're not going to get a chance to see them. And don't get me wrong. There's acts that I want to see that are younger, and they'll be around for a little bit longer. Like, I'd love to see, Pearl Jam and the Foo Fighters and these type, and even just new acts, I mean, the Baby and who, I know I'm going all over the place here, but realistically, that older generation is a generation I grew up on because my family's old and they, that's the thing. And when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to listen to anything new. Very rarely we listened to anything new unless my mom was in the car. But if it were my dad, it was just classic rock all the time. Classic rock or fucking jazz. Jazz on a Sunday so we can all fall asleep in the car. All fall asleep in the car while my father takes us home after drinking 3 Jim Beams on the rocks, after we had a lovely meal at a Portuguese place, and my pop's been drinking, puts on the jazz music. Somehow he could stay awake when, and that's the other thing. Tuesday, sorry to keep harping back on this. We have more to talk about than just this show. But on Tuesday, after the show, I was like, it snuck up on me that I had been drinking all day. Like it kind of we went to 3 places before we actually went to the show. I had a beer at all of them. And then at the show, I had 3 beers, and I didn't realize it because we were just hanging out, doing whatever the fuck we were doing. And it hit me late at night when I drove him home back from Boston. I drove my brother home back from Boston. And then I drove from my house. It really hit me when I drove from my house to my parents' house to my apartment. Another hour. It's 2 hours of driving, guys. Late at night, I got here at 2 in the fucking morning on Tuesday. And it was like I was in the Twilight Zone driving my car. It was raining hard, really hard, and I feel like my car, when it rains, I feel like my car is going to flip over, I'm going to crash and fucking die. That's how I feel sometimes. Sometimes when it's real dark and rainy, and you've been, you're under the influence of alcohol, and by that point, I didn't feel drunk. I didn't feel drunk at all, and I wasn't drunk. I was driving just fine. But it was just a combination of a long day and maybe the weed that I smoked in the car. That's probably what did it, increasing my paranoia and my need to press on the brakes and go 50 miles an hour on the highway in the rain. And it took me way longer to get home. I was stressing at the fact that it was taking too long. It was weird. It was weird. But I say all of that to say I am excited to hopefully find another concert, man. I want to go see somebody else or go see another show. I do. I definitely do. I'm willing to pay for it, and I'm willing to motherfucking travel because you only get one of these motherfuckers, and I'm down for it. So the iPhone has a new update. To switch gears here, we got some fun articles to pick through and talk about. There's an iPhone update that, quote unquote, will change the way you experience the iPhone. Change the way you experience your iPhone. So what they're talking about is there's a couple new things, there's one really new thing. You can unsend texts, right? You can unsend texts. So you can, within 15 minutes of sending the text, you can go ahead and delete it. And then you can access it for 30 days? I think it says 30 days. You can restore the deleted message and you can really send it. So if you accidentally sent a drunk dick pic to your sister, you can delete it. You can delete it before she sees it. Hopefully she's not on her phone at the time, which she probably is, right? We're all on our phones all the time. So good luck not getting bagged for, sending your blood-filled phallus to your kin. So it's tough, right? That's got to be tough to avoid. But now they're doing a little help. They got a little help, and if in 30 days, when you've had some time to think about it, you're like, you know what? I think I do want my sister to see this. I should send this out to her. Now I can, right? It was a mistake to send it, and it was an even bigger mistake to unsend it, because I think she wants to see this. I think she wants to see it. And I took a few more pictures of my balls, too, so I can send them in a package deal, right? Get it? Package? We could put it all together, right? Put it all together, and we'll be fine. Now it's just going to be easier to cheat, right? If you're a cheater, if you like to, you like to be promiscuous, but also lie to a person that you say that you love, you can do that even easier now. You can unsend texts. There are a million things that this is for. You can sell drugs very efficiently now, huh? They used to say don't text years ago, don't talk on phones. Years and years ago, you're not supposed to conduct illegitimate business on the phone. Now they have made it easier to do fucked up things on the phone. Once they try to ban firearms, now you can go ahead and sell your firearms over the phone as long as you have iMessage. You can send, hey, here's the price. There's only 3 bodies on it. If you get caught with it, the guy before me will actually get in trouble because he's the one who has all the bodies. I was just, the thing fell into my lap, and now it seems like you're interested. It sounds like you're interested in taking this from me. So we can work on a price. And this can all be through text. You guys text each other, and then instead of deleting the conversation, you can delete the texts. You can delete the text and then delete the conversation. Right? So it's double. It's double. It's like you never sent it. Right? Which obviously isn't true, right? They're still stored somewhere, those messages. They can definitely be dug through and found. It's not like we're just, the messages go nowhere. They're going to go, so people are going to see them. Somebody's job is to sift through those messages, just like it is to go through all this other shit to make sure that we have ads for, dog food on our phone. When we're watching YouTube. It's the same thing. They're going to pick up on things, and they're going to look through those deleted texts to and sell that information to better certain companies' marketing programs, target marketing programs. If you were going back and forth with somebody about, used anal beads that you were thinking of buying, and then you delete the messages just to, make it seem like, whatever, it's not a weird thing, but it is. I don't want anybody to know, so I delete the messages. There's probably going to be an algorithm, or there's going to be a guy who designs an algorithm that he'll then sell to an anal bead company, a secondhand anal bead company, or a secondhand sex toy store. And then next thing you know, you're getting ads for one in the town over that you didn't even know existed. And now, boom, life's easy. And you're thinking to yourself, I thought I deleted those texts about the freshly used, cum-soaked pinky vibrator. I thought I didn't know that there was a store in the area. I thought that stuff was and I thought that was supposed to be for our protection, right? It was supposed to be for us. I thought this was supposed to completely change the way we experience our iPhones. And now I'm getting ads for something that I definitely want. Definitely want. I can't wait to hit second time around fucks. That's what it's called, second time around fucks. I'm very interested in checking it out, but I thought this was, in fact, I'd be willing to argue that something like this will be used solely for that. Right? It's almost like, kind of like, the old, it's not what you think about, it's your subconscious, right? The old Sigmund Freud, it's your subconscious that comes through. Everybody wants to fuck their own mother, this crazy, whatever, whether you believe that or not. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like, here's a thought that I had, let me get rid of it, let me bury it, let me, throw it off to the side. It still lives in my brain somewhere, I just don't think about it actively. So this is going to be the same thing. This will be a way to get your the things that you want from your subconscious. The things that you want but you don't think about, you will, there'll be hundreds of thousands of men who send to their buddy, hey, I want you to blow my back out, and then immediately delete it. But soon there will be ads for gay bars or whatever else, right? This is the way it's going to happen, guys. They're going to tell us, hey, it gets deleted, but it's really going to be put in some other database to be used to sell shit to us, right? That's probably what it is. And I commend Apple for trying to give us the illusion that we have more privacy than we do, because they do. They give you the option when you have an iPhone. They give you the option to share your information. They let you choose rather than it be done automatically, which is nice, very nice. But a part of me believes that whatever box you check is just the degree to which your information is out there, right? Just by you having a phone, there's a million ways to get tracked. There's a million ways to get your information. I'm sure it has some kind of an effect, but it's very much like, we're doing something rather than nothing kind of idea, right? Man, it's cold in here. Let me turn this AC off. God damn. It was warm, now it's cold. Yeah, so I can see that happening. And then the another thing that was mentioned is that they're going to get rid of passcodes with passkey. They're going to replace them with passkeys. So let me just understand this. Apple is also replacing passwords with a passkey, which lets users prove their identities with biometrics, such as Face ID or the touchpad. These are considered far more secure than passwords. Okay, I mean, what's new about that? What's new about a machine learning the intricacies of our identity through our physical attributes, the things that make us who we are, literally, the things that differentiate us from each other, right? And a phone, we have machines now that can break that down in seconds. Seconds. All you need to do is have it say go. Go. Boom. Now you're done. Now your phone knows exactly what you look like to the T. To the absolute, unless you're wearing sunglasses. If you're wearing sunglasses, it doesn't work. I find that. Because the main thing is the eyes. But, or if if you like to burn your thumbs, there's some people who, you can burn off the print on your fingers. So some people, they burn their fingers to rob things, or they burn their thumb to get it real, real hot, and then they stick it in their ass like a poker. I'm sure that's out there, right? I'm sure people do that. But if you're not one of those people, then yeah, it's probably, more secure. But now this machine has the very essence of who you are and what you look like. Maybe not the very essence, but it has an idea, right? This machine could now have an opinion on you someday, right? Isn't that the big fear, that one day these dystopian machines will just take us over and they'll be, they'll know who we are, they'll have opinions on us, right? And they know more shit about us than anyone else because it's right next to us. It's always listening, always learning. Isn't that good? Isn't that changing the way we experience an iPhone? Both of those things, right? The actual mechanics of the being able to delete your messages, the mechanics of it is new. The idea of being able to delete your messages is a new idea. But the fact that those messages are probably not deleted forever, which is damn near impossible to delete something off of these things, to get rid of it forever, kind of impossible. It's just kind of giving us this false sense. So between that and between the biometrics, I don't see how this update's going to be any different from anything else. I mean, passwords are already a thing of the past. Nobody uses them anymore. Every app allows you for face recognition or a thumbprint or something. Pretty much every app. I mean, is it going to be where that any app that's allowed on Apple, there's going to be a requirement for that app to not use passwords? I don't know. Because a lot of the apps allowed on Apple are also allowed on Google and Android and these other platforms. But, I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see. I guess we're just going to have to see. And I hope they make me eat my words, guys. I hope that Apple's shifting their best interest in our best interest. And again, as far as monstrous corporations go, they are doing the best job by keeping some kind of veil over our eyes, to keeping us in the idea of we're not being tracked every second of every day, every minute. That's good. At least they're trying. And you know me, guys. I think we should believe every corporation wholeheartedly at their core. I think we need to believe them all the time. When they say, gay rights and trans rights and Black Lives Matter, and when they say that, better gun control, when they say those things, you can take that wholeheartedly because they mean it. You know that they're not in it trying to push their product or sell things. You know that they really believe it. The CEO sat down one day and said, "Hey, guys, I have a great idea. A bunch of kids just got killed in a school, right? A bunch of kids just got killed in a school. How about we come out with a special edition snack, right? We'll come out with a special edition snack, and it will be marketed for people who want more gun control. It'll be marketed toward them, and that will get people to say, hey, we should start regulating guns, right? Think about it. Moms are going to go to the store. They're going to say, well, I don't want my child to be in a situation like that. I don't want my child to be subject to a mass murderer. So let's go ahead and get these chocolate-covered popcorn balls, which are our best seller, guys. All we need to do is shift the marketing. Our popcorn kablamos is what we call them. There's 3 different flavors, but we'll make a specific flavor. It'll be called anti-gun caramel, and it'll be a nice drizzle, and we'll get someone to talk about it. Someone in the pop culture, and it'll be a great thing for the movement. It'll be a great thing to help us from stopping these murderers. We will be implemented simply to get guns off the streets, out of the wrong hands, and it'll be because people are buying our popcorn kablamos, whatever the fuck I called them earlier. No board of directors is looking at each other and saying, this is going to be good for the culture. All it's saying is that this is going to be good for our pockets. I don't care what company you are, Ben & Jerry's, Nike, they all do it. They love it. They love it. It is the best way to do it because it's tugging at the heartstrings. It's tugging at, do you want your child to be killed in a school? A school is supposed to be a sanctity of safety. And our hearts are with the children and the people who lost their lives in Texas a couple weeks ago. Now, buy this ass cream. Does your asshole hurt? Buy this ass cream. And for every bottle bought, $2 will be taken off the top. Well, $2 will be taken off the top and donated to the Anti-Gun Foundation. And the CEO of that foundation will get that $2, and he'll take $1.75 of it, and a quarter will actually go to the foundation, and that'll keep the lights on. That will help keep the lights on, and we'll be okay. So, I don't know how I got on that tangent, but another thing, CNN, you guys may have heard of them, small little news outlet. CNN is trying to get rid of the term breaking news. They're trying to do away with that. I guess they've realized that it's turned into kind of a classical conditioning tool, where anytime someone's hanging out and there's a news outlet on the TV, and there's a thing that comes across it that says breaking news, and a guy, one of the announcers or one of the news people says breaking news, everyone turns their head. breaking news. Oh no, what has happened? What tragedy? Who died? Who got killed? What natural disaster is taking place? What's wrong with our economy? Immediately, it's like Pavlov's puppy. It's classical conditioning. Breaking news. People have been so bent over by that term, bent out of shape. Well, I say bent over because people let the news and the media and that type of thing dictate how they think and they feel and they live, and they really think that they have their best interest in heart, and some of them do. Some journalists really do. Some journalists do great work, but they're few and far between, especially in these big media outlets, like CNN and Fox News. And some of them have great input. Some of them have great ideas. But some of them are there just to feed the machine, to make sure people are controlled, to make sure they're nervous, to make sure that their side knows that, they're the right side. We're the right side. We are the side that knows how to fix all the problems we have. We have all the answers. Stay on our side. Stay on our side. And I guess CNN is noticing that this is starting to have a bit of an effect on the people. Everybody is paranoid all the time. And they are starting to realize this is our fault. People are uneasy all the time. Maybe that's why people are going crazy and killing motherfuckers in public places all the time, right? Philadelphia, another one. That happened, this week? Beginning of this week? Philadelphia. Couple killed, right? Couple people killed, bunch of people injured. It's almost like things are coming to a head, right? Like people are just absolutely, they're uneasy about the future because the news doesn't make it very easy to be optimistic, right? Nobody trusts 33%, right? 33%, oh, what is it, 36? 36% of Americans trust CNN. Whatever the survey was, they went over 22 news outlets, and this CNN has the largest gap between Democratic and Republican, or Democrats and Republicans, sorry. 60% of Dems believe that it is, I think it's more. No. 60% of Dems believe in CNN, 11% of Republicans believe in CNN. Hugely divided. Just like I said, it's the biggest gap, that there is in this thing. And that's what they want, right? They can't be surprised at that data. That's what these companies want. They want to make sure, if they could, they would get that Republican percentage down as far as they can fucking get it. If they can get it to where one Republican in the entire world agrees with CNN, they would still be upset. They want negative. They want Republicans to feel like they should, but they don't. That would be like a negative percentage. They should. That's what they want. They want people to feel that they are the, they only want people, and this isn't just CNN, this is both sides. Fox being the right, the right wing and whatever the fuck else. These guys we shouldn't be surprised in this. We shouldn't be surprised that our media outlets are so incredibly divided because that's what they push. Guys, that's what they push. So now CNN is having a change of heart? No. They're going to figure something else out. They're going to figure something else out to keep their people in fear and listening and a sense of community. We're the right side. Either side. They want to believe that they're right. They have the right ideology. They do. They know all the answers. They know what has to be done to get this, to get whatever situation fixed or mitigated or whatever, right? And CNN is now saying, hey, maybe we've made people a little too nervous, and the connotation behind it, and I feel like breaking news is barely a thing anymore. Breaking news is supposed to be something shocking. It's supposed to be something, oh, Steve Jobs died. I remember seeing that, right? Steve Jobs died. Oh no. Steve Jobs, 68 years old, however fucking old he was. He died of prostate cancer. I don't know what it was. Throat cancer. Some kind of... I remember being a kid and seeing that happen. You know, breaking news. This happened. Breaking news. That happened. Breaking news has lost its touch. It's lost its touch, guys. The breaking news nowadays is pitiful. Just call it the news. You know? Just call it the news. Breaking news. 16 Disney employees have walked out of their stands as merchandise retailers. They've walked from their posts because there's only 6 different bathrooms for everyone to choose from, and they know that there's at least 8 or 9 that there should be. Breaking news. Breaking news. A cow has shut down the biggest interstate highway in Oklahoma. Did you see that? A cow shut down the highway. The entire highway in Oklahoma. That's what's going on over there. A fucking cow can shut down the highway. Over here on the East Coast, there's union workers and holes in the ground and trucks with flashing arrows telling you which way to go, and people standing on the highway with signs, telling you slow down, stop, and all this stuff. And people are driving like a motherfucker. People are driving and beeping, and they're angry and all that. In Oklahoma, a cow gets loose, and the biggest highway in the state is shut down. That's breaking news, guys. That's breaking. Even the shit that's supposed to be breaking news, like mass shootings, or countries in turmoil, or natural disasters. That shit isn't even breaking news anymore. I think that's what it is. I think that the breaking news is just lame at this point. It's lame. People are in a constant state of sustained fear. They have to heighten it somehow, and breaking news isn't doing it anymore. It's just not doing it anymore. But I'll tell you, Fox News, on the other hand, I've spoken about it before. I work at Mohegan Sun, obviously, and in the cafeteria, a cafeteria filled with immigrants, filled with people who don't speak English very well. They were given an opportunity to work, and they're working. They're working very hard, but without the caveats, right? At lunch, they get to eat. They get to use their $8 a day, which is a steal. You get to use your $8 a day. They sit down, and on the TVs, Fox News, right? Complaining about immigrants, complaining about the border, the whole thing. And I was sitting there, and I don't watch it, right? But it's on, so I hear it. And, I'd rather watch stupid videos on my phone than watch the nonsense that's on either news station, right? Most news stations, I would much rather just fuck around on my phone or read a book or do something, jerk off, something productive. Right in the cafeteria, right? Jerk off right in the cafeteria. I'd rather do that than be subject to actually sitting and watching the news. But I did hear they had a little girl who was in the room while that guy was mercilessly killing children, right? For an hour. And that girl was asked to essentially relive what happened. This little child who witnessed a awful, life-altering massacre at such an impressionable age. I don't know how old she was. I don't know how old the kids were. It was in elementary school. Doesn't matter, right? That is too young to be seeing anybody get fucking murdered. I don't know if there's a real age where you could say, hey, you can go see someone get murdered now. Ha, congrats. But I could tell you it's not any time in elementary school. You got to at least get to middle school before you can witness all your friends and classmates and the people you grew up with get murdered, right? And then it's like, okay, well, at least Tanya's in the 7th grade. At least she's a little older. She can understand what's going on. This child was basically asked to talk about what happened, and I saw her speaking, and that she had some stupid fucking mom that said, yeah, Yeah. Go talk to the man, honey. He just wants to hear about what happened. Go talk to the man. And then after it happened, she went on Facebook and put all kind of, clips. Oh, check out my Jessica tonight on the news. She talks about how her best friend was shot in the head and her brain matter covered her face. She talks about that. That's nice. Isn't that nice? You guys got to check it out tonight. She's featured in the on the news. She's going to talk about how the killer actually took a second. He took a sip of the water that was on the table. It wasn't his. It was the teacher's. And he took a sec. And then he turned around and shot 2 more kids. My kid. She's got to be on there to talk about that. You guys got to tune in. Which is, that's a big knock on the parents, right? To even have your kid involved in that, right? It's a bigger knock on the parents, but because you got to expect it from the news, right? You got to expect the news to get a kid to tug at the hearts of everybody and tell us why we need to get things done. This child here is the reason. This child and many like her are the reason why we need to figure this out. We need to fix it. They need to cut an angle and get people to watch, get people to be scared. And this little girl is here talking in an ice cold, levelless, lifeless voice, obviously incredibly disturbed. And she is being forced with cameras and lights and microphones in front of her face to talk about, he said be quiet, and we were quiet, and he still shot Samantha in the stomach. And she screamed the whole time. It was disgusting. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was sitting there and I heard that and I was like, my God, this is sickening. It is disgusting. But guys, that guy is at the beginning of his journey, was at the beginning of his journey with something that he found a spiritual affinity for and connection for. Now listen, guys, that is the end of the show. We're going to wrap it up on that thought. Thank you for tuning in on this Thursday. As far as dates go, life's been more or less hectic, so not a ton this month. Not a ton this month. We're doing Broadway Comedy Club the 18th. Show up at that. Should be a fun time. I'm putting all my comedy efforts into having a good show that night. And then again, the Comedy Festival, Portland, Maine Comedy Festival. I don't know what days I'm going to be actually performing there, but I plan on staying for the whole festival. Mark Norman is closing us out. He's got 2 shows on Sunday. And that's going to be fucking dope. But it's a while from now, end of August. Hopefully we can pack out some more shows in between then and now. If it doesn't happen, whatever. Who fucking cares? We're having a good time. That's it, guys. Keep a lookout for the clips. Share the show. The whole 9. I don't need to say that anymore because we have the intro and the outro. So I'm done, motherfuckers. Peace. Hey, I'm back to reiterate all the stuff that I said at the top of the show. Follow and subscribe. Bye-bye.